uh, and nobody is going to be jobless at any point of time. There would be some time, it's hard for me to say as well, but there would be some time everybody would get a job. It's just the anxiety and a lot of news coming in. Will I get a job? Will I not? What is going to happen in the future? But we will pass through and everything is going to be best. So just hang in there, world.
Welcome to another episode of the peopleHum interview series. I'm your host, Sneha Murthy, and let's begin with a quick introduction of peopleHum. peopleHum is an end-to-end, one-view integrated human capital management automation platform, the winner of the 2019 Global Cody Award for HCM that is specifically built for crafted employee experiences and the future of work. We run the peopleHum blog and video channel, which receives upwards of 200,000 visitors a year and publish around 2 interviews with well-known names globally every month. And now for our guest. Mubeena Azeez has a rich experience in human resources, recruiting and specialists, employment branding, volume hiring, social media hiring for ITS, IT, manufacturing industries, and leading teams with a proven track record with achievements. She is one of the most searched young influencers in the field. We are extremely happy and honored to have her with us today. Welcome, Mubeena. We are thrilled to have you.
Thank you, Sneha. It's my pleasure to be connected, and I was certainly looking forward for this, for this discussion since the time people have approached me. That's great.
We're pleased to have you on our show. So, the first question I had for you, Mubeena, was what does it take to be a successful talent advisor like yourself? And what are some of your best learnings?
Well, the successful talent advisor like myself, I still don't consider myself successful, but then yes, I have certainly tracked my efforts. So I guess pretty experienced recruiter, I would say. And to answer your question, what does how to become a successful recruiter or a talent advisor is, see, you we need to be, whoever choose the role of recruiter, at least with me, I choose to be very persistent and tenacious. Okay, uh, you need to go beyond and see a great recruiter. A great recruiter will remember people, will remember place, will remember the communications, and all these happen something beyond your technology. You see how through your intelligence you leverage networking, and then that's how you remember, through your networking, that's how you remember people, place, and the communication, the market, all these, and that's relates more with the job. So the recruiter's job is to find the right person for the right job. Okay, that's the first thing. And I would say there has to be no fear in taking a challenge. That's what I do. I always wanted to take HR during my MBA, and specifically I was more interested with recruitment because I know I was a people's person, but I quite started liking interviewing, meeting different sort of people, and it kind of gave me a never give up attitude when I started working as a recruiter. When I say never give up attitude, that means you need to be ready to face any challenge. Like, um, there are certain times where you will have to fill, as a recruiter, any recruiter would agree to this, whoever is watching, you would have to fill requirements overnight. There would be a hiring manager who would say, tomorrow morning I need a candidate from I need a software engineer from Uganda, I need a software engineer from California. So it's difficult. So you need to be always on your feet to get the work done. And recruiter doesn't watch the clock. It is not, I'm sure out of 10, 8 recruiters would agree to this. It is never a clock for us. It is always weekend, midnight, anytime you have to have some work that would be on your foot, that you have to do it, and it's never a 9 to 5 job. It's never a 9 to 5 job. So if somebody needs to be a successful recruiter, the point is you need to be a street smart. All right, you need to be a street smart and get the right candidate. We will get to hear, at least let me speak from my experience. I would get to hear a lot of standard answers, like, when I say tell me about yourself, the candidates go through the lot of their the whole page of resumes, what they did and what they. But there has to be something challenging that a recruiter must be able to find out that from the candidate. They say take the diamond through the rough, and that's how it goes to the hiring manager. So it's more of a collaboration work that we do between the hiring manager, the candidates, and the recruiters. So it's more of a collaborative task. And as a recruiter, another point is we should never have a fear. There has been a time where I just step into office, and in one of my manager in my previous employment, not the recent, the previous employment said, okay, we have an executive level assessment to be done, and we need you in the meeting room in like 30 minutes. You're not prepared for it, and these are challenges because executive level assessment is a different ball game, and it takes, you need to first assess yourself to assess that talent. So all these, there are a lot of challenges. You have to accept the challenges and never give up. Focus on, stay focused, and measure your efforts often, because recruitment is the only function within HR that is number oriented. And especially, you get to choose who would fit into the organization. So we are the front end for those candidates, and for the hiring managers, we help them get the best. So these are the basic things. We can talk about it on and on and on, a lot of things, but I guess these are the basic things that a recruiter should have to be successful. But I'm not yet there, but yes, I guess I have reached to an extent from my day-to-day experience of recruiting.
Absolutely. I mean, I completely agree with the point that you say it comes with added responsibility, right? So you just cannot fulfill your deadlines, but you have to give the right job to the right person.
Yeah.
And that matters a lot.
Yeah, true. And it's more, Sneha. It's like, we recruiters, at least successful recruiters, we don't settle for a yes, no, look into my resume. When I talk about successful recruiters, if I'm interviewing a candidate and I ask a question, I definitely don't expect to be yes or no. And some candidates say, okay, look into my resume. These are not the answers that a successful recruiter would want to hear. This is something, details matter. A lot of details matter. Only then the recruiter will be able to identify what skill this particular person has, and then proceed further with, um, take it forward with the hiring manager and the hiring team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And what habits do successful managers practice when it comes to recruiting the right talent?
They do practice is, I would say, I guess most of the hiring managers still need to practice. Okay, as far as I know, that's why most of the organizations have come up with the training for hiring managers, and there's a separate team. Not everybody can sit in the interview panel. They need to be trained, and then they are sometimes called as targeted selected interviewers. Different acronyms in different organizations. So what do they need is, first thing is collaboration. So when I say collaboration, the hiring manager, the hiring team comes up and gives the requirements to the recruiter, okay? And they think, okay, we have given the requirement. Now the recruitment and selection team would do the job. So they need to have the faith and they need to collaborate better. But often, all said and done, sometimes it happens that they get carried away by the recruiter's job. So, but they know what's the business challenge, and they know through their network they tend to get some talent, and then they bring the talent to the recruiter and say, okay, screen them, and that more or less becomes like an admin job to the recruiters. That's not the point. The point is, hiring managers, what they do is they work great, and a successful hiring managers usually work with a great collaboration and decision making. They involve whoever is the part of the hiring team, they involve everyone in the decision making. And also with the candidate, the decision making is, they look like this. Okay, with a candidate. Okay, I know where you're coming from, which company, your previous employer, what skills you have, but are you bringing what I want? I have a pain point, I have a business challenge, and is this something that you are getting me? These are the decision making questions they get into, and that's how they decide. And selling, it's not just usually the job seeker tries and sells their profile. It's also the responsibility of the hiring manager to sell the role by speaking about the strength of the organization and weakness of the competitors. So these are the factors that would usually hiring managers follow, and that makes them great. And obviously comes with candidate engagement. But with all these said and done, there is a lot of drama that happens between. I'm sure nothing goes on a smooth flow, because sometimes there are a lot of disagreements. Sometimes the recruiters would not be happy with the decision making. Sometimes the hiring managers are not happy with the right candidate that's been the talent pipeline, not the right candidate, sorry, the talent pipeline that's been given by the hiring recruitment team. But all that said and done, the goal for all this team is to get the best talent.
Absolutely. We need to understand, like, if the person who's coming in has the right thing that we want, what our pain
Yeah,
point is, and that we need to excel in it to be a
true.
successful recruiter.
Yeah, not an easy job with all that said and done. It's not an easy job
Yeah,
to be a talent advisor.
absolutely. So, is there anything like a perfect resume? Like, how should one efficiently screen resume?
See, this is a very good question, and this question is I really liked where got this question on your mind, because this question is the need of our hour. Over LinkedIn, also, I keep getting lot of questions about, because since I'm a creative resume writer and I write for certain executives and mid-level managers. I keep getting a lot of questions. What is this perfect resume? So I'll tell you. I guess I hope I can give the message through this video. Now, perfect resume is a tailored, when I say perfect, okay, it's a tailored resume. So you know what the job is. When I say tailored, you know what the job is. You see the job requirements, you see the job description, and accordingly, like what does the hiring manager want when you see the job description, and then you make your resume. So that's a tailored resume. That's a perfect resume. Now, a normal resume is, I guess, as a recruiter, I would say everyone should keep their resume just in one page length. Maybe different circumstances, two page, but we need to keep it limited in one page. It has to contain what did you whether your job, whether you're going to start a job, what job did you do, and your skills. Did you train someone? Did you do any community outreach, development programs, service, or something like this? All these, and what is that you can bring onto the table? Okay, just in one page. These are the ones that need to be covered up in a simple format. But all this said and done, the fact is, okay, it's a very sad fact. It merely takes maybe I would put it in seconds for even the recruiters or for the hiring managers to go through the resume. Nobody really, you tell me, will you and I'm sure when we get a newspaper, what do we look at first? We don't go more than the headlines, right? We
True.
usually first go through just the headlines, and then when the headline is catchy, only then we go a little deeper and go through the paragraph, right? That's how it is. We usually, it doesn't take more than probably 5 or 10 seconds to a resume, or let's say 1 minute. Okay, nobody literally, but also it's a sad fact. But then, having said that, we cannot avoid this. It matters. Recruit, for you to get a job, get recruit. Um, the basic thing is your CV, your resume, and it is like arguably adds more value to your career. It's always good to have a CV. Anytime any opportunity opens up, always have your CV ready, because nowadays I see most of the people lean on LinkedIn, or they think, okay, if somebody says we have an opportunity, can you give me a resume, they say, hey, can you go check my LinkedIn profile, I'll send you the link. It doesn't work. Okay, they might think it's quite good, but it really doesn't. Even now, everybody, the hiring team or as a recruiter, the first thing that we ask is your resume and your CV to actually go through. And it matters, it actually matters. And keep it, and to all the job seekers I would like to say, the resume, you need to keep it very simple. I'll tell you, when I started doing a little a manager level hiring, I used to get resumes and I used to think, is this written by some alien? There are a lot of jargons, a lot of hi-fi language. Keep it a very easy communication, because no one is going to spend hours and hours going through the resume. As we go through your resume, it makes the other person, the job seekers need to think from the recruiter's foot. It makes the other person think, okay, wherever possible, whatever this person can bring in, I need to know. And that's how they start getting calls and they say, okay, we need to have a discussion. So my advice would be not to put every, I see some resumes honestly to with statistical records over there. My marks were this in 12th. The statistical graph,
Yes, yes.
like what I mean. But all that is not happening. Nobody actually really goes through that much of spends that much of time in going through all those resumes. But the fact is, it matters. Resume matters.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And many people right now would be looking for a perfect resume. And to all those people, here is the right answer for that.
Yeah.
So, do you think technology, like, obviously technology is embedded into hiring processes now, like many of it have become automated. So, how do you think we can enhance recruiting with tech? And what is the right kind of tech in that sense?
Speaking about technology in hiring, on a lighter note, I would like to say there was a time when people used to say recruiters would do the job of recruitment and selection, but now it's more the trend is like technology would do the job of recruitment and selection. That's actually the trend. Having said that, the human touch is always required. But I'll tell you, the more the technology is evolved around this recruiting space, it has you know how do I put it across? It's more the HRs are forced, whoever is in HR fraternity are forced to evolve with that technology, and that's good in one way, but I would say it has all its pros and cons. Like, say for example, there is chatbot. There's chatbots, there's video recruiting, there is programming advertisements of job description, and all these. It's quite blended well. It's quite blended well, because you spoke about me doing volume hiring, right? I was doing volume hiring in a day, 300 to 400 candidates I had to interview in like about say 5 6 hours. Okay, literally I have to they would come, it was walk in, and I have to sit and go through one by one hours, speak to them. Very tedious job. And somewhere what happens is, we tend to see, as a recruiter, you usually we need to differentiate the candidate A from candidate B. But what happens is, with too much of burden, what happens is we try to create candidate A and candidate B. So when I meet candidate A, I find the person to be very good, and when I meet candidate B, I expect what candidate A has in B. all these happens, and somewhere um, this is kind of eased down with the technology, because I'll tell you what, there are a lot of technology, the applicant tracking system that's come these days. From 500 resumes, we can get the perfect 10 candidates in the pipeline just by filtering the skills, and a lot of filters, and a lot of options. It's easy for us to now um, at least build a strong pipeline. Not that the other candidates are not insane, and either they must have applied for a wrong job. That's where the junk profile comes in, or the best thing is this: the technology does not leave an impression on the candidate that okay, your profile is rejected and things. It sometimes happens that there are automatic notes that goes to candidates who are not in the pipeline, maybe on their birthday wishes, or in that case we are able to collaborate well, with the recruiter technology, and uh, recruiting technology, hiring, with all these we're able to collaborate well. But with this, I would relate it to the previous question. If there is no mark on the resume, when I say there are no right things put on your resume, even the applicant tracking system, even the computer would not um, show your existence to the human. You know,
Absolutely.
so with all said that, it all starts with us. We need to ensure everything is fine. But then artificial intelligence and, like I said, chatbots and all these, it's a kind of ease down the recruiter's job.
Absolutely. The technology has its own perks, but then there should be a human touch as well.
Yeah,
Kind of like builds up and mixes up together.
true.
Thank you so much, Mubeena. It was really insightful. So before wrapping up the interview, I would like to ask you: do you have any other sound bites you would like to leave for our audience for?
Sound bites. I guess I have two that I would you know want to say here. One is for the people in corporates. Yes, we have a technology there. We have social media, which is more powerful tool. At the same time, we have a sensitive situation going on now around. Okay, so the first request would be to all those who are in corporate, leaders or whoever, just um, put across or share your expertise, pick up some mentees, or pick up give advice, or see if you can help develop some skill to any of them. See how what best we can do in this sensitive situation that we have now, which I'm sure will pass by, rather than celebrating the promotions, and celebrating the promotions while there are 5 million people who have been laid off all
Wow.
over the world. So we can do the rock and band of promotions and other things, celebrations anytime. But at this point of time, we got to be very sensitive, and that's what I would say. Whoever the top boys and um, other corporate leaders and whoever in corporate. And the second thing is for the job seekers. Um, I've been getting a lot of messages. They're having a great negativity towards the recruiters. That the recruiters are not. You don't check my profile, and you don't. Uh, I don't get a call, and all these anxiety is there. But I would like to say, hey, hang in there. Okay, there would be a lot of opportunities that will be coming up as things move up pretty good, and nobody is going to be jobless at any point of time. There would be some time, it's hard for me to say as well, but there would be some time everybody would get a job. It's just the anxiety and a lot of news coming in. Will I get a job? Will I not? What is going to happen in the future? But we will pass through, and everything is going to be best. So just hang in that world.
Absolutely. I mean, thank you so much for that. Like many of us actually need that kind of energy right now in these trying times, at least.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you so much, Mubina. It was wonderful talking to you. I had like great insights coming out, and I'm sure I enjoyed it completely. And I'm sure our audience are gonna do that well as well.
Likewise, thank you for your time. And all I want to say to you and your team is stay safe, everybody.
Yes, you too. Let's stay in touch and stay safe, take care, stay healthy.
You too. Thank you.